Oh man, it feels like a Friday. I've actually had a case of the Fridays all day long.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I am the Dorkasaurus Rex, and I am a Dork for News. And news is what we're bringing to you today on channel 42. 42 is always the answer.
I keep on thinking it's February. March 14th, 2025.
We're halfway through it.
The mighty, the rotund, the slap my belly goodness. Dodo Queen is here.
Hooray!
With the Dorkasaurus.
Yes.
To read the news.
To read the news.
Would you like to go first?
You go first, and then I'll go second.
Okay. Bring up the picture. Thank you, Green Queen, for giving us this entertaining, juicy bit of drama.
Oh my god.
It's entertaining to me.
It is entertaining. Well, it wasn't TMZ. It must be entertaining.
TMZ, March 13th, 2025. Aaron Goodwin and the Ghost Adventure crew were on a shoot when cops called to tell him his wife allegedly tried to kill him. Production sources tell TMZ that the Ghost Adventures squad were filming a lockdown investigation for the show last week in LA when cops called to inform Goodwin that his wife Victoria had been arrested in connection to an alleged murder for hire plot. Victoria Goodwin was arrested last week and booked on solicitation to commit murder and conspiracies to commit murder charges. Cops say she was messaging with a Florida inmate about getting out of her marriage with Aaron when she allegedly sent the message, "Am I a bad person?
Yeah.
Because I chose to end his existence, not divorce."
Yes.
Cops say Victoria and the inmate Grant Amato earmarked a little more than $11,000 to pay for the hit. The alleged plot was discovered when cops found the inmate's contraband phone.
Oh, but before that, you're right, Joe. It was crazy that she used the phrase "end his existence." It's like, who says that? Oh, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. From CNBC News, March 13th, 2025. Almonds Whiskey Auto Parts. EU's retaliatory tariffs set these U.S. states and local products as the biggest losers. From 2017 to 2019, Tennessee whiskey exports to the European Union had dropped from 362 million to 222 million amid President Trump's first-term trade wars, and exports remained low until the retaliatory tariffs were suspended, according to a recent research report from the Trade Partnership Worldwide. The 2018 Trump tariffs were suspended by the Biden administration in January of 2022. Once the EU lifted the tariffs, Tennessee whiskey exports increased by 42% in the year after, said Daniel Anthony, president of the Trade Partnership Worldwide. But Tennessee experts know how retaliation could again reduce sales. On Thursday, Trump threatened 200% tariffs on EU wine and alcohol and said he is not going to bend at all when it comes to UF tariffs levied on other nations' imports. His Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, told CNBC he doesn't understand why the markets would make a big deal out of these threats, but for some U.S. states, the EU is a big market. Unlike the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, where U.S. shippers must pay the tariffs in order to receive the products, reciprocal tariffs would be imposed on U.S. exports, which are paid by EU importers. The higher prices could either drive down demand or shut down the market. There is an expectation companies will lose sales as EU consumers shift to less expensive options, Anthony said. Data compiled by the Trade Partnership Worldwide shows the value of U.S. exports that could be subject to tariffs would increase fivefold, from $6 to over $27 billion. On a percentage basis, new analysis on the EU retaliatory tariffs show New York and North Dakota companies potentially having the highest shares of exports in retaliation crosshairs, which can impact demand on their goods. And that's what's going on with them tariffs.
Yes, tariffs are very crazy.
Oh my god,
But they keep on fucking delaying it, so.
well, the big problem with tariffs is it just drives down demand, and then like people aren't buying anything, and then no money is going into the economy. It's not circulating anymore. It's like clogging up the system.
Yeah, well, there's certain things that we can't go without buying, like food. A lot of the foods, well, like produce and stuff,
Oh no, the food's gonna be a problem. But so it's like I think we should just kind of buy food and lay low on a lot of other stuff for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And the next one.
No
Oh
fake.
yeah, look at that beautiful picture.
This is going well.
Right? CBS News, March 14th, 2025. Passengers on an American airline plane that caught fire in Denver arrives at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport early Friday morning, nearly 12 hours after initially taking off. The plane with 178 passengers caught fire on the tarmac after making an emergency landing at Denver International Airport, forcing many passengers to evacuate by climbing out onto a wing and with emergency slides. Airport officials said 12 passengers were taken to a hospital with minor injuries. The Federal Aviation Administration told CBS News in a statement that American Airlines Flight 1006 had departed from Colorado Springs Airport and was bound for DFW Airport when the crew reported engine vibrations. Michelle Woods was on her way home from a trade show in Colorado Springs. She said takeoff was fine, but once the plane was in the air, one of the engines was making a loud noise. She said people were screaming, pushing, and jumping when the plane landed. Everything was fine, but there was smoke filling the cabinet, said Woods, who was sitting in the front of the plane.
Man, what is up with airplane safety? Do they not have any inspectors anymore?
Right.
Like fixing, or are the engineers like not fixing these things right? I thought these things had to be serviced pretty regularly. What's up with that, bro?
Green Queen says, let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake, she said. Okay. Last story. This one's long, but we can get through it. Good luck to us. From NPR News, March 14th, 2025. The Senate passes spending bill to avoid a government shutdown. This happened like an hour before I did this type out.
Oh, shit, really?
This is the freshest, hottest news out there. The Senate has approved a short-term spending bill to keep the government open through the end of September. The measure was approved largely along party lines, but an earlier procedural vote exposed deep divisions among the Democrats. While Republicans control the Senate, they do not hold the 60 seats necessary to break a filibuster. Ultimately, 10 Democrats voted with Republicans to advance the bill to avoid a shutdown. The bill includes a small increase to the defense spending and about $13 billion in cuts to non-defense programs. The bill is in line with GOP promises to cut domestic spending. Democrats characterize the bill as a blank check to Donald Trump because the bill makes no attempt to rein in the administration's ongoing efforts to cut spending previously approved by Congress. The vote highlights deep divisions within the Democratic Party over how to respond to President Trump in the second term. The decision by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, to support the funding bill sparked an intense backlash from House Democrats who almost unanimously opposed it. I think there's a deep sense of outrage and betrayal, and this is not just progressive Democrats. This is across the board, the entire party. New York Representative Andrea, I can't say her first name, Ocasio-Cortez, told reporters Thursday night. The Senate Democrats who opposed the bill, a stopgap measure known as a continuation resolution, or a CR, argued that helping to pass it would give Donald Trump and his advisor Elon Musk the leeway to continue slashing the federal government without oversight. but they also acknowledged that a shutdown would bring pain and disruption. Schumer also said that the Democrats were given a choice between two bad options, but he determined that keeping the government open would minimize the harm to the American people. As bad as passing the CR is, allowing Donald Trump to take even more power via a government shutdown is far worse option, Schumer said to the Senate floor Thursday.
Oh my God. I was pissed off hearing that for the first time.
No, I got mad about it. One of my friends at work came up to me and talked about it, and we were both very mad about it. And he's like, everything I'm reading, people are really mad about this.
But I guess the only excuse that I have is, yay, we're going to need that defense spending because everyone's mad at the United States right now.
Oh, our defense can't even handle their own budget.
Right?
Every audit, they fail. They lose like 2/3 of their equipment. I don't know how you do that. Oh, yeah, they're not war profiteering, I'm sure. But it's like, what's with this whole, we're going to try to keep the status quo that you're actively ripping apart?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so feckless. Chuck Schumer is so old avant-garde. He's like, well, back in the 70s, this is how we used to rule the country. And it's like, get with the fucking times. Get out of the way, you geriatric old bastard, and get someone in there who's got a set of balls that still function. Sorry, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad.
I'm not even mad. I almost stopped you multiple times because it was pissing me off.
Yeah, no,
so
you
much.
looked angry when I was reading that. Do you have any comment on that?
I am just going to look at it like glass half full. We need that defense now because of everything that we're doing.
And he's right. A government shutdown would be bad. But the problem is we're inching to extreme pain. Maybe we should just jump into it. I don't know. Is that a bad idea? I'm getting really anxious with this whole, let's just tiptoe to the disaster. There it is. We're just getting you to close. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. That's the news. We're all depressed now.
That's the news. Yeah, I thought you were going to find a happy one this time.
There was almost a happy one, but the guy used the AI to do it, so I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No, Ambrose, you're correct. You say, you want a revolution. Well,
we should just make you memorize a Beatles album and make you sing the whole thing.
Oh, I could totally memorize a Beatles album. If you gave me 1 month and I genuinely cared to do it, I could do it.
Okay, let's do it. Do it then.
Oh, can it be the Help album? I liked Help.
Okay, do that album.
Yes, I love Help.
The Metal says no, memorize the White Album.
Oh, you bastard. I don't want... Of course, the White Album. Oh, have you heard the Beatles' White Album? Oh, their most famous album that everyone sucks the dick of? Yes, I've heard of that album.
So, be right back.
Be right back.